So yesterday was primary day in a number of states, and it was a big test for the power of former President Donald Trump and his hold over the Republican Party. The results show it was kind of a mixed bag. So the Pennsylvania Senate race, too close to call. The Trump-backed candidate, Dr. Mehmet Oz, and his opponent, Dave McCormick, may be headed for a recount. Dr. Oz praised Trump at his rally last night. Take a listen to what he said.
And I want to thank some other individuals who are actually unbelievably close friends. Let's start with 45, President Trump. Yay! President Trump, after he endorsed me, continued to lean into this race in Pennsylvania. He knows all the subtleties of it. And God bless you, sir, for putting so much effort into this race. I will make you proud.
Now, in North Carolina's House primary, Trump-backed candidate Madison Cawthorn lost to his Republican challenger, Chuck Edwards. So he lost his seat. Cawthorn was plagued by leaks of embarrassing pictures and videos. He also angered a lot of Republicans with accusations that they invited him to drug-fueled orgies. Meantime, other Trump-backed candidates like Doug Mastriano and Ted Budd won their primaries. All right. So, Al, do you feel that Trump is still the Republican Party? Is he still the major influence?
I think so. I mean, I think the Pennsylvania race is an outlier in that, you know, obviously Dr. Oz has name recognition. You think he'd run away with it. But Dr. Oz lives in Jersey. And that's not really playing that well, and he's still that close. I think that shows that how powerful Trump's reach still is. When we start talking about Madison and Cawthorn, we can talk about that briefly.
Which Trump endorsed.
Which he endorsed, but I mean, don't forget, he endorsed him, and then Madison Cawthorn made those accusations about the drug-filled orgies, which should only be coming out of somebody's grandmother. Like, you're not at college having drug-filled. Like, it's such a weird statement, but he said it, and it seemed like it was almost defamatory, but just like a statement you would brush away. But people started to respond to it, Erica and Jeff, and as they responded to it, he was becoming more and more chastised by the party, and eventually things started to leak, Sam. Where were those? All of a sudden, now those are coming out, and he's up out the party. My question to you guys is is that what Democrats should do when they have a Christian cinema or a Joe Manchin that's tanking every bill that they try and put out? Maybe the Republicans show that's how you handle somebody in your party that's out of line, because Madison Cawthorn's at home with us right now.
That's dangerous.
So you saying put people on blast?
Yeah.
Isn't that what politics is anyway?
Yeah, it keeps people in line because, you know, you think about Biden had all those, you know, the Build Back Better and all those things he tried to, and Joe Manchin just tanks everything he tries to put out. If you set the example that, hey, Jeff, if you want to say something about the Democratic Party, that's cool. We got like 4 or 5 videos of you on Al's phone that we can release.
Dang.
That'll keep people in line.
We got B613 it?
It works.
What are we doing?
Do you think
I understand. I understand what you're saying. I get it, Al.
Hey,
I get
listen.
it. And it's a
Highly
concept.
effective.
It's a concept. But I do think, and I'm gonna liken it to family, but very loosely, because I understand none of us are family, right? But there's like the Republican Party that's kind of like the family that they'll like publicly reprimand you, and then like the Democrats are the family that are like, we're just gonna keep this in house. And it is interesting when you say it that way, because there is some truth to it. I don't know if completely besmirching a person is really going to do well in the long term. I think it's interesting, though, because we're saying, is Trump having an effect on this primary?
Do you think so?
Of course. But no different than Obama had effects on the primaries moving forward. And what we see, and I really am very clear about this more on Obama, because you saw a lot of candidates who were very qualified, but there was this formula that Obama had, and they started to try to mimic the formula. It worked for some people, and then it didn't work for others. And I think that's exactly what we're seeing here. And eventually there's going to come a time where even people who are 100% locked into your ideology and your politics are going to be like, we need a new formula. So I think we're getting to the end of a new formula when it comes to Trump as well.
Do you think it'll backfire when, let's say, the Republican winner of the primary goes against a Democrat? Then do you think it will backfire?
I'm not even sure what we're talking about. That's in essence of everything, to be perfectly honest with you. But my thing about like presidents backing, Obama backed people, so Trump backed people.
Yeah, but Trump's way more controversial, so it's going to backfire.
Here's where I'm going to go with that. So if Trump's backing someone now, now, and this is what I don't like politics, right? Hey, man, you're going to do the primary over here in Pennsylvania. I'm Donald Trump. I'm going to help you out, right? Okay. All of a sudden now you move up that ladder, and now you're running for president. This is far off, right? But now you're running for president, and now you're like, hey, remember me?
Thank you.
I just helped you back in Pennsylvania. You wouldn't be where you're at if it wasn't for me. Now you try to distance yourself from Trump's policies and all the controversy that it goes with. But you just shook hands with the devil, so to speak, and that's politics.
That is politics, and that's what's so frustrating. You look at McCormick and you look at Oz. I was going to say Dr. Oz, but you look at those two. They spent over $50 million in super PAC money. $50 million. So what is that super PAC money? Whose hands did they shake to get that $50 million? What favors?
I mean, Republicans have big dollars. That's not that much money to their party.
For a primary?
That's
this
nothing.
Is big money.
To control a state like Pennsylvania?
But to Jeff's point, and I'm not just singling out Republicans. This is a Democrat problem, Bernie Sanders aside. This is a Republican problem and a Democrat problem. Take money out of politics and we'll finally get some real leadership.
Sam, that's not going to happen.
Well, we have
to stop saying that.
Why?
Because there's no way.
Stop saying that.
I wish you were right. I wish you were right, Sam. Who's going to bring forward that legislation? Like, hey, let's do something where we're all broke. And what happened to Bernie?
But look how close.
What happened to him?
You're right.
He was unfairly treated because he wanted to change things. When people want to change things, they take him out. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, he got really close though.
I
do think a revolution is on the rise, whether it's now or whether it's our children's lives. But at the same time, I still think we can't be complacent, and we still need to advocate for a fair democracy. Because right now, it's rigged.
Look, if you don't have money, you can't play. But you can also say that about a lot of businesses. If you don't have enough money to get in the game, poker. If you don't have enough money to get in the game, you can't play. And unfortunately, unless we change the rules of poker or
poker, no one's.
You need to have money to get into the game. That's how it works.
I know, but there's
well, you acted surprised when I said it.
Well, there's no.
I don't know any other rules to poker besides that.
Don't play poker with me. I don't know
me and Sam sitting there like you go. I think
it looks cool. I would wear the sunglasses.
It looks like it takes a long time.
Coming up.